Hello, this is Professor Scott Norman, and we have another installment of Gorillas in the Midst of the Automotive Industry. Today we have a 2013 PSU graduate, Scott Smiros. Scott, welcome.
Thanks for having me. It's great to see you again.
Well, thank you very much. I can't believe it's been almost 7 years, 6.5 years since I've seen you. You know, it's been way too long. Scott was one of my lab assistants, so he had the pleasure. I call it pleasure, pleasure of working for me for a few years in the automotive lab. And so, you know, we get busy. And we, get busy and just doing work and stuff like that. And so it's kind of nice to catch up a little bit with some of my star students. So, Scott, let's start off by maybe telling the folks where you're from. What did you do in high school? Did you have any automotive experience growing up at all?
Yeah, so I grew up in the Overland Park area. I had some automotive experience going through Mill Creek, which was a program that a few of the districts in the area shared. I think it's the Blue Valley, Olathe, and Shawnee Mission districts all feed or contribute to the program. Mm-hmm. So I ended up going to auto tech classes my junior year and senior year while I was in high school.
Oh, great. Excellent. And then did you have any automotive influences as a youth?
So I did. It's part of the family. So I was destined to be in the auto industry. My grandpa was an engineer for Saginaw Steering Gear. I have aunts and uncles all within the industry in various positions, and my dad's also within the industry. He actually works for Toyota right now.
Wow, awesome. That's great. Yeah. Myself, I didn't have any influences at all. And, my dad did not work on cars. And so, some of us like myself, had to work on our cars just to get around. And so it's kind of neat to have somebody as a mentor like your folks in your family to be able to help explain a little bit about the automotive industry, because one of the reasons why we're doing these interviews and talking to, successful PSU alumni like you is that the automotive industry and the transportation industry is so large, and there's so many jobs out there that it's hard to understand as a high school student what's available, what type of work could I do, graduating from, let's say, a 4-year automotive degree. And so that's kind of why we're doing that. So as you were going to PSU, first of all, what major did you choose or option? And then what type of experiences did you get at PSU?
So with PSU, I ended up choosing the automotive technology degree with the emphasis in service management and marketing. Okay. So wanted to stay within the car area, and I ended up working with Ron Downing, who's now retired, but he was my advisor at the time. You were a huge help through the program. So I remember just getting exposure to all various classes, whether it's collision repair, welding, some of the more traditional automotive like transmissions or suspension, engine performance. So a lot of great experience going through the program at PSU.
Okay. Now that particular option is setting you up more of it's an automotive major with a business minor. So you take a lot of automotive business classes, to set you up to go work for the corporations, Toyota or, one of the other ones, or, owning your own shop or something like that. So I think that option was actually perfect for you. So did you do any summer internships or anything like that? Any type of work experience as you're going to PSU?
Yeah, so I did end up actually having a couple internships with Toyota over the summers between sophomore and junior year, and then between junior and senior year. Mm-hmm. So my first experience was with Toyota. I ended up working at their headquarters out in California at the time. I was with their product quality and service support groups. So those are the guys that are on the technician hotline trying to answer the phones and help out with some problem cases. They're writing repair manuals. They're designing special service tools with AutoCAD. So there's a lot of cool or different things. Going through the internship, I enjoyed it, but I realized that it wasn't quite what I wanted with my career, the direction I wanted to go. So in talking to some of the guys there, they actually suggested I try to apply for an internship with one of the regional offices the next summer. So that's what I did. I ended up working in Cincinnati for the summer for the region there, and got an idea of what we call as field life or dealer support life within the corporation. And I ended up really liking it and decided to go that path with Toyota.
Okay. Yeah,
So
and
I,
then you got some experience working in the automotive department at PSU, right? Somehow
yeah, I did.
you
So
talk you talk somebody into hiring you, right?
I did. So I was able to be the lab assistant for a couple of years while I was in the department. So
Okay.
just anywhere from something as simple as cleaning up the lab after class to helping some of the instructors in the lab with whether it's setting up a car on this alignment rack properly with students or helping them go through the diagnostic steps in the engine performance class. A lot of extra experience. They say you truly become an expert when you help teach or instruct, and through in going through all of that, ended up helping me learn a lot as well.
Yeah, and were you involved in our AMP program also? Were you
I
helping
did.
out
So
with
I
AMP?
was in the automotive mentorship program. I was able to help out a lot of other students in the program. I was really passionate about the classes, so I ended up being able to help out a lot of people. But then it also gives you a lot of resources with the instructors and other students that can help you get through classes that they might have struggled through before. So help pass the learning along.
Okay, got it. Okay, so let's say so it's December 2013. You graduated. What was your first job with Toyota?
So my first job actually was in the call center with Toyota. So that's something that at the time they were wanting all of their new hires to go through. So you spend a few months answering phone calls, which is the 800 line for Toyota. So these are customers that need anything from just to know what kind of gas to put in their car to a complaint about the dealership or help with their Bluetooth. Really interesting experience. You get to learn to talk to people. You get to learn
Yep.
to listen and understand and give empathy during a conversation, which ended up being very helpful in throughout my career over the last few years. So I definitely appreciated that experience. At the time, I hated it, but
Yeah,
looking back, it was very valuable.
yeah, I tell people, I did that. That was my very first job after PSU was the Chevrolet customer assistance line, and I did that for 12 months before I went into technical assistance. But what's really funny is that now, if I get an 800 number and I have to talk to somebody, man, I know all the right words to talk to get to their manager to get something done. So
Yeah, it definitely gives you a much greater appreciation for that. And I definitely know how to get what I want when I'm talking to one of those guys.
yeah, yeah, just use your powers for good and not evil, right?
Yeah. Yeah. Key is to
Okay.
be polite.
Yep. Okay. Okay. So then, what was next after the customer assistance call?
So after customer assistance, I ended up getting hired in our Chicago office as a district service and parts manager. So this was in rural Illinois, so outside of the Chicago area. I was driving around from dealership to dealership, helping service managers and parts managers with processes, parts inventory, any issues that come up, whether it's warranty or if a customer is requesting goodwill assistance with a repair. I was their go-to guy with anything that might come up.
Okay. And so that was in parts and service. What did you do next?
Yeah, so I was in parts and service for a few years as the DSPM, worked in a couple different areas of the Midwest, and then I ended up moving over to the sales end of the business. So working with dealers on assigning them and wholesaling them vehicles, so allocating cars, working with them on their sales process, again, any sales customer issues that might pop up, and providing that feedback to our headquarters.
Okay. Well, I do know that, sales is obviously very important for a car company because if you don't sell cars, you do not have a car company. And so you got to sell. And so maybe explain a little bit more about that position as a sales DM, because again, that's something that is, I've never been in that position. So for me to try to explain to a high school student what, what you do is hard for me. So could you maybe do that for us a little bit?
No, I appreciate that because when I started, I didn't even have a clue what
Mm-hmm.
the position did, and I just kind of learned it on the fly. So you're looking at a car company, as Mr. Norman had said, the whether it's Toyota, Chevrolet, Ford, they make money two different ways, either by selling cars or by selling parts.
Yep.
And we sell cars to dealerships. And the role that I'm currently in as a district manager, it's my job to make sure that out of the bucket of cars that they give me, that I'm able to get dealers to buy those from the manufacturer, that I'm able to assign those. So when it comes down to how Toyota makes money as a corporation, on the front line, I'm the person who's able to do that or help make that money come in.
Okay, got it. Excellent. And so, how many dealerships are you currently actually working with?
Yeah, so I'm currently working with about 13 dealerships around the Indianapolis area. So on a day-to-day basis, I work with them on their sales process, trying to improve the customer experience, trying to elevate or build the brand against any others to try to help improve our market share. One of the big things that we're working on is culture within the dealerships. So a big challenge for dealers are to hire people, whether it's to hire technicians, hire qualified salespeople. So getting them to be competitive in the job market is a big priority for us right now.
Okay, got it. I know that yeah, some of the people that I worked with Chrysler, were in the sales area, and I remember them telling stories all the time. Is that they had to sell this pea green Pacer, and they couldn't get a dealership to take it, so they were driving it around as a field car until they were able to take a dealership to get it, so they could get the next field car. So, what type of field car do you have right now?
So right now, since we just came out with the brand new Highlander at the beginning of this year, I'm driving a Highlander right now. And
Ooh,
it's really, I know most people would look at a Highlander and say that isn't exactly the coolest car around, but it's right now, I have to brag a little bit. It's a $50,000 car that I get to drive as just a demonstrator, or I don't have to pay anything for it. So the car's free, the gas is free. I don't have to pay insurance. That's a huge benefit when you're looking at what your pay is. I think I definitely built that in.
yeah.
Typically, they do let us pick, but when we have a new model launch, they like us to just test out the new model to see all the latest and greatest.
Well, yeah, and it's kind of exciting because everyone wants that new model, and so you get it first, and
Right.
driving around. Plus, you're driving around to the dealerships, showing the dealership the new model. So yeah, I remember that. That's one of the things I miss not being in the car companies anymore is the new models and the excitement of the new models and all the fancy gadgets and everything like that. So what's new for Toyota for 2021? So I guess we're in the 2021 model year right now. Anything exciting that you've been hearing about as far as buzz, as far as the next big thing coming out?
Yeah. So the next round of things coming out is you might remember this car from a few years back, the Venza.
Oh,
It was a Toyota four-door SUV. We're going to be relaunching that. It actually looks like one of the new RX models.
okay.
So it's very smooth ride, very comfortable. Moving forward to next year, the big launch that we have coming up is the Tundra. So
Ooh, yeah.
it'll come out in December of 2021. And we haven't confirmed this yet, but it should be a 2022 model.
Oh, interesting. Interesting. And I guess you won't be able to tell me if it's electric or not, or can you get an electric version of that or a hybrid version of that or
I can tell you that by 2025, every series within the lineup should be electrified. So whether that's an all electric model or a hybrid variant, I know that we've done a lot of research and development in hybrids and some heavy duty towing. So I expect that could be one of the drivetrains that's available in the truck.
well, that's kind of cool. Yeah. I'm hoping that, before my career ends, that I'm able to see no new internal combustion engines being produced. And so, I think Toyota is kind of on that trajectory of electrification. And, obviously in your career, it's going to happen. I'm not sure if it's going to be in my career or not. We'll see. We'll see how it goes. There'll still be internal combustion engines I have in my backyard and on the farm and stuff that I'm driving, but obviously new product, who knows, right?
Yeah, so I know there's been a lot of buzz around electric cars over the last few years, and it's definitely some exciting and cool technology. But when you look at kind of where sales are and what's being manufactured, electric cars still make up for a really small percentage of what's being sold out there or purchased out there. So, I think there's still a lot of opportunity for it to grow, but I think we'll be with the internal combustion engine for at least the foreseeable future.
Yeah, probably next 20 years is my prediction. So we'll see how that
Yeah.
goes. And so hybrids, obviously the hybrids are the big thing right now. So until
Right.
the battery technology gets better, we're able to, do a quick charge within 5 minutes. I think it's going to be a hard sell for a lot of people. So what about some career advice? Obviously, you were a very successful student. You're being very successful with Toyota. That high school student that's thinking about automotive technology, maybe they're starting in the fall as a freshman. What advice can you give them so they're successful?
So I think my advice, and just in starting out would be just start building a network of supporters or people that can be your champions. So starting your freshman year, when there's career days in the Automotive Technology Center, make sure you go and you visit and you talk with some of the employers. Having the opportunity to be on the other end of those conversations, I was able to go to a couple of colleges and help with recruiting. And we definitely recognize people that come and talk to us that might not be ready for an internship or a full-time position, but we'll save their resume for the following years. And if they come back and talk to us, we remember them and we are definitely attracted to them again, because we see that they have a vision, or we see that they're motivated to try to get into the workforce. And that's something that we definitely look for. So in working with the career fairs, definitely start talking to some of the employers and see what options you have are out there and try to build those connections. Then also just within the school, look at various clubs or groups that you can join, whether it's AMP on the automotive side or one of the faith-based organizations that they have on campus. I'd definitely encourage you to join all of the above, just so that you can help build that group of people that can help you succeed.
Excellent. Great advice, man. I love it. I love it. Well, Scott, thank you very much for your time. This has been fantastic. I'm going to, since now we're on Zoom, the Corona pandemic is, everyone's on Zoom now. I'm going to be contacting you a lot more by Zoom, and that way I can get some face-to-face contact with you, hear what's going on with your life and your success with Toyota, and also hear about all the new products and everything like that. So
definitely.
Okay. Well, folks, thank you very much for watching. And if you're looking for more videos about careers in the automotive industry, you could follow me on Professor Pintane YouTube channel. I'm also on Facebook, and I have a brand new website. Just go to professorpintane.com. Thank you very much, and you guys have a good evening.